Hey, okay, so here's a video on whether or not we as people should be forcing relationships to work. All right, so first I want to go explain the status quo of things. In today's society, with the status quo, it is commended to stay in a long-lasting relationship. It is commended to weather the storm and be with someone by all odds. And it is looked at a detriment to get a divorce. It's looked at as a detriment to break up. It's looked at as a failure when you're not able to commit to sacrificing yourself to a relationship for another person. And I can relate to these feelings and to this idea because I also held those beliefs in the past. But as I've continued on my spiritual journey, I started to learn that self-love is more important than sacrifice in a relationship, because if you don't know how to love yourself, then you can't possibly truly love that other person. And how I feel about relationships is, in any relationship, in a friendship, in a marriage, in a romantic relationship, you should stay with the person for as long as it serves you. Now, I don't think that you should run anytime your subconscious issues come up or there are problems that arise. I think that that gives you an opportunity to face your fears and to face your challenges and gain more self-awareness and ask yourself why you feel the way you feel and why you're going through what you're going through. But if someone, I feel like I'm rushing through this because I feel like someone's going to come in the room, but in case they do, I'm just going to keep going. But anyway, so you're in a relationship, and the point of relationships are to be mirrors, and the people that you're closest to can be your biggest mirrors. And when you present an issue to someone, when you present a problem, you're supposed to be able to work those issues out, figure out what the missing holes are, figure out what the limitations are, and grow. And as soon as someone is stifling you from being able to grow, as soon as someone is legitimately making you unhappy, and when I say unhappy, I don't mean serving someone's selfish ego. Because there are some relationships where the man or the woman wants someone to serve their ego and they want to be lazy. They just want someone there to comfort them. They want someone there to tell them that they're amazing and great. They don't want anyone to put a mirror up to themselves. They don't want to face any challenges. They don't want to face their ego. They don't want to face their dark parts. They just want to feel good all the time. In the meanwhile, there's a part of them that's unsatisfied, not their soul isn't really growing. They're just satisfying this superficial comfort, and your soul's gonna want to evolve regardless of what your ego is doing. So it causes you to cheat emotionally, cheat physically, cheat energetically. You're just gonna be unsatisfied. And so many people take so much pride in sticking out in those situations. I'm jumping around, but I feel that you should be with someone for as long as that it serves you. If someone is making you feel bad about yourself, if someone is disrespecting you, if someone is not valuing you, then that is the time for you to speak up about it. And when you speak up about it, they don't want to make the necessary changes, then it's time to move on to another person, or it's time to be single. To hold yourself in a position in a relationship for the sake of the relationship and ignore your inner guidance system is self-loathing. It's the opposite of self-love. Because what ends up happening is you sacrifice yourself on behalf of that relationship. Unconscious resentment and passive aggressiveness and toxicity spreads between the two of you in that relationship. And so you're holding on to something that is completely unhealthy for you, whether you're being spoiled or whether you're being depleted. Being spoiled can be a form of abuse and is not self-love. Being spoiled is a form of love that's not true love. So you're feeding off of this love that is synthetic, and you have to keep receiving it. You're never satisfied because it's not real. And when you're depleted, obviously, you keep giving and giving and giving, and you're not getting enough back. That can be draining on your soul and your emotional body too. This is a quick video because I'm feeling like somebody's going to walk in. But also, it blinds you. In order to stay with that person, you have to make up fantasies about them to make them better than what they really are. And as your relationship grows, you continue to put a rug over dirty floor. And you keep doing that, and you keep doing that, and keep doing that. And then when you break up, if you ever do, you realize all these things like, I didn't even like this about that person. So much was happening. We were both so unhappy. All this stuff was happening. We were holding on to all these things. And you start to realize the mountain of stuff that you ignored. And that's why it's so important to keep up with your inner guidance system. To keep up with your inner guidance system, I saw one of my little guides a second ago. That's why I stopped for a second. But to keep up with your inner guidance system, keep up with how you feel. And I'm not saying go around being with a bunch of people, breaking up with them all the time. I'm saying be with someone for as long as they serve the evolution of your soul. If your soul feels limited, if you feel stifled, if you feel devalued, if you feel unappreciated, if you don't hold on to that, that is self-loathing. Because you could be holding on to this relationship and making this person out to be more than what they really are, and, damaging your other relationships due to it. So, we came from an age where it's glorified to stay together by any means necessary, and that it's a quote-unquote failure to break up. But we've got to change that mentality. We've got to honor how we feel when we feel it. Feelings matter. If you don't know how you feel, you don't know who you are. And when you invalidate how you feel, you invalidate who you are. Who we feel is who we are. And if you take that away for someone else, then who are you? All right, so I just wanted to say that. And that's why the twin flame relationship is such a hard one. Because when you encounter your twin flame, all your subconscious stuff comes up. And it may or may not feel good. But you got to ask yourself, what is the real issue that's on the table here? Is it my ego? Or is it something to do with them? What is the real issue? So it feels good to be in relationships that, on the surface, superficial, are fun. But if you're not elevating your soul, if you're not growing your soul, then you're being stagnant. You're not actually going within and doing self-evaluation and growing as a person. You're limiting your life experience. Because when you're with someone who brings up those subconscious issues, you can truly heal and remove all of those blockages. I bring this up because what prompted me to talk about this, I was thinking about parents, honestly. I was thinking about our parents and, how they're born in a new age, an older age. And I was thinking, I was having a moment of stepping in their shoes. And the things that they have been conditioned with, and why there's such a power struggle with this generation and the older generation. And it made me, I like to sit in different perspectives to understand it, because not all the time people are always trying to hurt you on purpose. Not all the time are your parents trying to hurt you on purpose. Sometimes they could be facetious, and sometimes it is due to conditioning, why they do what they do. So that's what inspired me just now to make this video and talk about the importance of keeping up with your evolution and living for you, essentially. Keeping up face for people who aren't even in your relationship is living for those people. But at the end of the day, you're the one in the relationship. So who are you living for? But anyway, I just wanted to say that. And relationships can be something that can truly catapult your soul evolution. It really can, if you use it the right way, if you allow for transparency. I know that I didn't come from the best environment. I didn't. And I know I was a handful. I know I was a handful in a ton of my relationships. And I know that they were a handful for me, because you're a vibrational match to what you are, to be able to mirror and bounce those things back and forth so that you can learn. And so perfection is not necessarily the goal. It's just about transparency. And then when you know better, do you do better? When you know better, do you take responsibility? Do you apologize? Do you learn? Do you keep growing? So it's not about being the perfect person and knowing everything already and blaming yourself for anything. It's about when you do learn and when you do know, what do you do? All right? I hope that helped, and goodbye.